Aloha, I'm Jeff Lee from Haloa Aina. I'd like to talk about the 5 key threats to the native dryland forest.
This particular piece of property here was bought in an auction in 1853 by the Greenwell family. These trees were bulldozed, and the grass that we're standing on and that you see behind us was brought in from North Africa. It's called Kikuyu grass, and it was brought in explicitly for grazing of cows.
Ungulates are basically split-hooved animals by definition, or hooved animals in general. And what they do is they actually will graze the native trees when the dryland the grass in the surface grass dries up. Because the native trees have a deeper root structure, they reach down for a little bit more moisture. So the last thing to dry up would be the native trees, and the animals become dependent on these for their own hydration.
This is not a native grass. This grass causes us a lot of issues and a lot of problems, including fire and a lot of other things that we can get into.
The fires, when they come through, will burn and eliminate even soil. So it's not just a matter of losing the trees, you're actually losing the organic base, which is very limited in the dryland areas.
The invasives, like the Kikuyu grass that we're standing on, that is coming from North Africa that was planted here. It's the fireweed, it's the raspberry bushes, it's the eucalyptus trees, it's the plant material that tries to take over a forest in Hawaii.
Rodents came on the ships. Basically they infest the entire ecosystem on every island. What happens is, because they really haven't got a food base in the Mauka lands, there's only one seed that they actually like, and that's the sandalwood seed. And the sandalwood seed is it's almost like a mac nut. It's a little thicker, juicier. It's got starch, protein, moisture.
We have cycles in Hawaii that go about every 7 years, just like El Nino, just like La Nina. And what happens is we get a wet 7 years, and then we get a dry 7 years. When that dry 7 years comes, you want to make sure that your plants are in a state, or your trees that you're planting are in a state that will be able to survive that long-term kind of a drought period.
The loss of the native forest habitat claimed by grazing, the industry in general, over the last 150 years has led to a change in the moisture or cloud or rain pattern. And this is a long-term effect. So what's happening is we've actually got a lot less rainfall in a native forest. Even though we call it dry land, it may have always been dry land, it's drier now, and significantly so.
So this property now, what we're trying to do is to take it back about 100 years. We want to get this forest back to the original structure in terms of what kind of trees grow here.
What we're doing now is taking the economies of it and reinvesting it in the land itself and the educational format. And in the long run, it's the educational format and what we leave behind that's really going to determine our success at Haloa Aina. It defines us as our mission. It's our legacy.